Every once in a while you'll hear us get drowned out. I'm waiting for our guest of honor to show up shortly, but this should be fun. Thanks for the heart, Gerald. Thanks for joining us. I'm sure a few more people. Thanks, Tactile Fractile. So we have a special guest today. It's a flight attendant, which is gonna be kind of fun. I asked her to prepare some stories in mind. Hopefully she remembered to do that. Hi, Jack. A lot of numbers. Jack, a lot of numbers. And this is Tiffany. She is a flight attendant from a carrier that we will not disclose the carrier, but because we won't disclose the carrier, we'll probably get some juicy secrets. But again, you can follow me at Davy Sutton on all social media, and every Tuesday I do TRavelScope Travel Tuesdays. I'm going to be introducing a cool new platform where you guys can interact with me even more. I'm going to somehow, I'm still trying to rig it. I'm going to rig it to where TRavelScope will interact, or my Periscope will interact with Blab, and Blab is in beta form right now, so I'm testing it out and I'm going to see if I can work. It's going to be kind of like a talk show, so I'll be able to see your faces and we'll be able to interact. Hello, We Connected Productions. Thanks for joining us once again for TRavelScope Travel Tuesday. And then next week, before, just a little business that I do before we get started with our chat / interview with Tiffany, who is our flight attendant here. And we're just chilling outside, kind of right next to the airport. How convenient is that? Next week I'll be in the TRavelScope I'll be en route to Colorado. Denver, Colorado. I'm going to be taking a luxury adventure tip. Hello, hi, thanks for joining us for TRavelScope Travel Tuesday. Thanks for all the hearts, thanks for the love. And again, I'm right next to the airport, so if you hear the noises above, it's because it's an airplane. Let me switch this around. Run! Okay, so we're right next to the airport, and I thought that would be a nice setting to talk to Tiffany.
Hi.
Tiffany's got to use not her radio voice. Energy. So she's a real life flight attendant, and you know, flight attendants take really good care of us. Why do you keep telling me to run? Don't run. Okay, so flight attendants take really good care of us in the skies, but do you take good care of them? We're gonna go over some of these things today. Tiffany, last time we had you on, we asked you some juicy stories. Anything that comes to mind? Do you remember?
Juicy stories. Well, I just know that a lot of times customers are not aware that there may be someone sitting next to you that is dealing with a serious medical health issue. Meaning, I've had people traveling, going to go to a second specialist for a brain tumor, things like this. So sometimes we're taking care of other people's drink orders or bringing an extra bag of pretzels or peanuts. However, sometimes we may be trying to comfort someone, you know, that might not be right near you if you're not aware, but they could be somewhere else in the aircraft and they need a little bit more than just the snack or beverage. Some people are going to see a loved one that passed away, or headed to a funeral, or headed to someone who is passing away. The doctors are telling them to get here immediately. You may not have a lot of time. So people are crying on airplanes on a regular basis for a variety of different reasons.
Right, because everybody isn't just going for vacation.
That's right.
They're going to bury loved ones.
That's exactly right.
Or transporting themselves for like that cancer surgery or something like that. That's very good note. That's that's good note to help.
Just be mindful.
Be mindful and be a better traveler. One of the things I want to discuss is what we discussed a little bit last time, but there's a lot of myths about what your real duty is, right?
That's
People
correct.
think that you are like overpaid waitresses, that the flight attendants are just here for us to, look, it's a hair scarf. I don't have like a do-rag on. I know from this angle it kind of looks like that. Side note, but flight attendants, talk about what your real duty is there for.
Our real duty is safety first. Safety. If we have to have an emergency landing, not all emergency landings end up in death or destruction or an explosion of the whole aircraft and everybody dies or everybody drowns in the water. No. A lot of emergency landings, whether it's in water or on land, are survivable. However, just depends on what type it is and what's going on, what's causing it. But it is very important to make sure that when we're on the ground taxiing, or we're headed towards the ground, or even if we're leaving the ground, that first 10 or the last 10 minutes are very, very important. And those are what statistics say are the highest chances of, if anything were going to happen, it's going to be in the first 10 or the last 10 minutes. So
during takeoff and landing.
That's exactly right. So that is the time to be sure the area around your feet is clear, period. Because you don't want to block yourself out. If you had to get out in a matter of seconds, you don't want to block your neighbor out, whether you know them or not. You don't want to block them in, rather, from getting out. I don't want to see anybody tripping over bags or straps, and now you're on the floor in the aisle. More people are tripping over you if we had to run out of that aircraft quickly because of smoke, fire, who knows what. Stuff that you can survive if you can get out quick enough.
That brings me to the point of all the rules. Like, you guys go take flights, and there's a lot of rules on the flights, but they don't make up the rules. Talk about who commissions.
What a great point.
Yeah, commission.
We do not make up rules. We do not get paid to create rules on our off time or on our on duty time. All those rules are mainly 95% federal government rules, just like they have rules for the street, the freeway, certain speed limits, certain things you can and cannot do that are against the law. Same thing for the aircraft. If you commit a crime on the aircraft, a crime could be breaking one of those rules. It is considered a crime. It is a federal law that you're breaking, so it would be considered a federal crime.
And so a lot of times you'll see passengers want to negotiate these rules, but and then you'll see like the flight attendant and the airline staff, they're adamant about not changing the rules because they can't.
They're not ours to change.
Right.
We're held accountable to them as well. If we're flying as a passenger or if we're working, if we don't ask you to adhere to them, we can't force anybody to do anything. All we can do is inform you what the law is, what the regulation is. It's a federal aviation regulation. All we can do is inform you. However, if you choose not to abide and there happens to be an FAA person on board, employee that's paying attention, that's there to watch, they can fine you. There's no fine less than $1,000 that I'm aware of. And they can also fine me, the flight attendant, if I have not informed you. And they saw the seatbelt sign came on, we did not inform you, we did not make that announcement, whether it came from the captain or the flight attendants. If your child was not properly seated on your lap, if they're less than 2, or in their proper restraint system, car seat or whatever, if they see that we did not instruct you properly with the information, with the regulations, we can get fined, that same fine that you will get, and the airline also will get a fine as well.
And so we had a question from somebody, and they said, can I get the whole can of pop?
You can. Oh yeah, we never mind that. We give the cup, the airlines consider that as customer service, to pour you a cup first and refill you as many times as you would like on the amount of time that we have, of course, with the flight. However, if you want the can, we absolutely do not mind you asking for the can. We'll bring it to you, no problem.
Be gracious and kind. That comes from Gerald. Thanks for the question, Gerald. Okay, so we talked about some of the rules and being courteous to considerate about what some people may be going through while they're flying. But there's also like some people who aren't considerate to you, like in-flight violations. You're welcome, Gerald. Let's talk about some of the in-flight violations. I'm actually working on a piece about in-flight violations, and that includes somebody putting their feet on the seat. What are some of the ones that are like pet peeves to you?
Yeah, the feet on the seat, it's not breaking a federal regulation, it's a courtesy violation.
Home etiquette.
Completely.
Like, who's your mama? What did she teach you?
Bad etiquette. It's bad etiquette.
There's other ones that are, what about like you tell the people to hang up because you're about to take off and they're still wanting to finish their conversations.
Flight attendants have great memories most of the time. Now, it might not seem so timely, meaning you may ask us to bring you a refill of Coke or whatever you have, and we're gonna do 8,000 things. It's in the back of our mind. We're gonna bring it to you. Most times it'll be quick, but if it's not so quick, trust me. And if we don't get to it and you don't remind us and the flight is over, we're thinking about it at night when we're having a drink with our friends, like, oh, I forgot that guy's Sprite. Shoot. 29E. I'm so sorry. We will remember, but we also will remember if you chose not to pay attention during the emergency demo where we're showing you how to live in an emergency, where to get oxygen in an emergency, how to get out quickly in an emergency, where to go. If you're not paying attention, you felt like your phone call was more important. Did you really want us to risk our lives? And it wasn't important to you? We need your life to be as important to you. We'll make it important to us.
So what is, do you have any fun stories?
Fun stories. Lord knows
Because I was going to say patients, but flyers or...
Customers.
They need to take flights to transport themselves for all kinds of reasons.
Definitely. Man, funny stories. Man, I can't think of the funny right now, but I will say one more area. That'll come back to me. You know, we remember stuff. It just comes back
later
at random times. But courtesy, the mommies that have babies that are acting completely nutty.
They're losing their minds. They're freaking
crying,
out.
The toddlers, the infants. Trust me, it's not always, I'm not even going to say anything. It's not the mommy's fault. Now, sometimes mommies can bring more entertainment, coloring books, snacks that don't end up on the floor, crushed up under your feet. Because
so how do you deal with how do you guys
give them a break? Give them a break because they're stressed out as well. I have sometimes. If your baby looks clean, your baby's clothes look clean, I will walk up and down the aisle with your baby. I will definitely try to help you out. And sometimes the baby wants a little break. They want to get out of that confined space, and they're not adults, so adults have learned to deal with that confined space. They knew about it before they got on there, but the kid is like, what is happening? I can't move it. This is crazy. So
they're freaking out.
They're freaking out.
And then their little ears.
Sometimes their ears hurt. There's pressure. Don't ever fly if you're congested. If you know you're congested, you deal with sinus issues, take a decongestant beforehand.
That's for the adult.
That's everybody.
Right.
So
if you have a child that can't use their words in the same way, if they're congested.
Yeah. The only way they can tell you is to cry that they're in pain, and it's excruciating pain. Like,
yeah, it hurts.
It is the worst.
I've had a cold and my ears.
You could pop your eardrums, and that could be permanent damage.
Oh.
So always try to get drained with some kind of decongestant before you fly, if you know that's something you suffer with, so that you don't permanently damage your eardrums. They'll bleed, and sometimes you can't recover from that.
Do you have some insider secrets on like little known facts that people didn't know about making their flight easier or better, or
I travel with a little roll-up blanket that has a handle on it, attaches to my arm of my suitcase, just in case I get too cold, too many aircrafts, get way too cold.
They're so cold.
Too often. It's so uncomfortable. It's the most annoying thing on the planet. I try to help you out and let the pilots know. We don't have control over that, by the way.
Right.
Only the pilots do, and they're behind the closed doors.
Oh.
I totally wish I had that control.
They can control that? I thought it was just because the air pressure and we're going into outer space.
There's a controller on the aircraft to make it warmer or cooler.
That is some...
We, as flight attendants, just don't have access to it.
And
so we have to call up front.
Once the cabin doors close, I guess you guys can call. So can people request that, or is that annoying?
And wear clothes on the plane. I understand you may be leaving the hottest place on earth, somewhere in Arizona or Africa or wherever. However, on an aircraft, whatever's going on with the seasons, from wherever you are or wherever you're not yet, dress for an aircraft. We see some girls coming in,
flip-flop shorts,
half their stuff hanging out of their skirts and dresses and shorts. What are you leaving on the seats? Bring your own wet wipes. Bring your own antibacterial wet wipes. There's no way everything could get wiped down between every single flight.
So do you see Gerald's question was like, have you so Gerald asked if you ever had like freaky passengers who tried to join the Mile High Club, and is that a federal offense?
That is, well, let's think about this before I say that's a federal offense. I haven't seen that rule written down that it is a federal offense.
Can you be arrested?
You probably could, but I just haven't seen that rule. I mean,
so talk
police
about
don't play these days. Flight attendants don't have a whole lot of tolerance these days. Unfortunately, I do. I'm good.
So what have you witnessed? Like when people have crossed the line?
I haven't seen people purposely trying to join the Mile High Club on my flights. I don't have drama on my flights.
She runs a drama-free flight.
I run drama-free flights. We have fun. We laugh. I take care of my people. I allow you to nap peacefully with a comfortable temperature. The beverages you need are like, I'm gonna look out for you. However, for those of you that are trying to sit too close, trying to lap it up under a blanket,
that you can tell.
It's just.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give you an eye. Like,
have you heard stories from?
I have from other flight attendants. Yeah, people going in the bathroom right behind each other, trying to pretend they didn't know that their partner was in there. Some will bust you out immediately. Some won't care. They're too tired.
I think they just need to invest in a chartered flight or a private plane.
If you want to go into that bathroom and expose your private openings to whatever is going on in there, good luck to you.
And it's kind of tight. Like
it's
you can barely fit in there.
Barefoot passengers sending your kids and yourselves into the bathrooms with no shoes on, whether it's barefoot or
but it
socks.
Happens.
People pee on those floors all the time. They miss the hole. I don't understand what happens. They miss the hole whether they're doing number 1 or 2. I know that's disgusting,
but it's the truth.
Happens. So guess what's on your socks that's now going in your shoes? I'm a lightweight germaphobe. I know I'm in the wrong career to be a lightweight germaphobe, but I am. I can't help it. So people sometimes change babies on those changing tables.
Yeah.
Wipe down your stuff. People put their kids' pretzels and peanuts on the tray directly.
Right.
Let them eat with their hands or licking their fingers and doing all that. Who knows what was on there?
Yeah.
Yes. If that stuff gets wiped down at the end of the night.
But not at the end of the flight.
But not every day in between every flight all day long.
That's right. I have a friend who brings on her Clorox wipes, and she wipes down the whole thing.
Ziploc baggie.
And that's because she has peanut allergies.
Yeah.
So she tries to fly where they don't have. I think United doesn't have peanuts or something. Most of them have eliminated peanuts because there's a lot of people. But just because there might be some dust around, she wipes it all down.
She probably needs a
have you guys ever questioned what's the real difference between economy comfort and regular economy? Has anybody? If not, then we'll move on. But I've questioned that before. Tiffany can explain that there is a real difference. I noticed it the other flight that I took a couple days ago, but
what'd you notice?
That there was more leg room. That's it. But the seats are the same.
Yes,
so
it's more leg room. That's all it's about. People want more leg room.
Right. So you can navigate. I've given tips and hacks on how to navigate to find, there's different websites that help you find a better seat on the particular aircraft or flight.
Okay.
Do you have any other cool hacks or ways to upgrade yourselves without paying the bucks ahead?
I mean, once we're getting close to the aircraft, being done with boarding, we're getting close to closing the door. Not after we close the door, but even when you first take your seat, whatever your assigned seat is, you can ask nicely, would you mind if we're not full? And if all the exit seats aren't full, if you're equipped, you're not with a brace on or anything like that, or a cast, and you're of age, 15 or above, hey, do you mind if I move to that seat if we don't end up full if no one takes it? And a lot of times we won't care. We just need you to do it before we close that door because you're holding up the flight. We can't move the aircraft or close the door while you're up, while seat belts are off, or while bins are closed or open. What's
the temperature of meaning how do you find on the average traveler or passenger? Are they kind, or do they greet you, or are they kind of more dismissive and you're just there? What do you find?
Most times people are nice. Sometimes they're a little bit aggravated and stressed out from the TSA process.
And traveling
would be.
Traveling is
it's
stressful.
Nerve-wracking. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much busyness in the airport. A lot of noise. All of that.
Carrying your stuff, lugging your stuff all around.
Sometimes your crap is too heavy. It's too many different
back
bags.
Hurts.
It's disorganized.
You're not gonna sleep for hours.
So it's just gonna mess up. So the better organized you are, the more time you give yourself, the more relaxed you can be so you're not irritable. We definitely try to greet our passengers as you walk on, like, hello, welcome, good afternoon, good evening, hello.
But then, of course, you see
a lot of people completely ignore us.
That's
like,
what I was going to say.
that.
That's what I was like. Then you get the people that they're in their zone and they're like, oh, I just hope my thing fits in the bin, and they're just moving along.
I totally think they're not purposely trying to be rude, like, I'm not speaking to you, even though there are some that are like that. But they will definitely be able to speak up when it's time to get a drink.
Right. And so is there some sort of like subtle, or like you said, you flight attendants remember everything. Is there something that you log in your brain and kind of say, oh, they were extra kind. They went out of their way to greet me. They looked me in the eye. Is there a reward that they receive? Like, how do they?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I'll definitely,
do we get 2 cookies? Do we get?
I mean, I give great customer service across the board. Whether you speak to me or not, it's not going to dictate my level of customer service for you. You're my customer. You paid your ticket to come on board and fly with me and my company. That's helping me pay my bills. I recognize that. I appreciate it. And with that, everybody gets excellent, positive customer service, period. However, if you're like super sweet, you went out of your way to make sure, like, are you okay? How's your day going? And you're looking me in my eye, like you really care, I could tell. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a little extra. I'm going to give you a little extra.
Because everybody wants
extra love.
Because everybody wants everybody to be nice to them on their job. All right, Tiffany, thank you for your time once again today. Caught her when she's in town, and you hear the noise because we're right next to the airport. Any last thoughts? We might have her again, but for now I'm gonna give her a little break because I came to her. Thanks. They said this is great insight.
Oh, so, very good. I'm glad it helped. I hope you fly with me sometime soon.
If you see her, then you'll say, "Oh, I know my own personal flight attendant," and then she can
hook you up with a drink.
She'll hook you up with drink on you. Okay, so thank you once again, Tiffany. Thank you all for joining us for TRavelScope Travel Tuesday. You can follow me at Davy Sutton. No poking from last time.
No poking.
No poking.
I'll give you a hug all day long, but no poking.
Don't poke your flight attendant. At Davy Sutton on all social media. Swipe right or swipe down on Android to follow me on Periscope. I do TRavelScope Travel Tuesdays every Tuesday. Next week we'll be in the airport as I head to Colorado for a outdoor adventure. You can also check. We have a lot more travel content on the Daily Affair, Daily-Affair. We have 10 contributors. I do the travel stuff on the Daily Affair, but lately I've been posting almost every single day travel content for you guys, pumping it in for the rest of the year. And also at the beginning of the year, check out my show Beyond the Usual, and we have some teaser episodes on YouTube, so check those out, share with your friends. And oh, one more thing.
A lot of people don't know this, and so I don't give people a hard time. I just inform them and shut it down. But it is illegal to bring your own alcohol onto any aircraft unless it's maybe not a charter, but a private jet. But it's illegal to bring your own alcohol and consume it on the aircraft. The American carriers and maybe some of the international carriers, we have to control your consumption on the aircraft, which helps us control the behavior that comes with too much consumption. So that's a federal regulation. It's not an airline thing.
So what if you buy something and duty free?
You can buy it and you can bring it. It could be in your bag, but you just can't open it and drink it on the aircraft. That's illegal.
That's
a lot of
illegal.
people don't know it's illegal. You can get arrested for that.
You can't even come on the airplane intoxicated. So if they notice if they notice that, then they can refuse you to board your flight.
It's a federal crime.
Lots of good insight from our travel insider, the flight attendant, the friendly faces that you see in the sky. All right, thank you guys for joining us, and until next time, see you later.